Hello, my name's Levin. I'm the structures manager for the Southern Alliance. As you can see here coming up, this is the Southern Interchange Bridge. At the moment we're just cutting this, ready for the piling platform to be installed. And the piling rig will come over from South Manukau Road and we'll start piling there over the next 2 months, looking to finish around September time. So the Southern Interchange, we've got some MSE walls which are precast blocks, and then they've got steel straps at the back, so we'll be installing them, hoping to finish before Christmas, and then we'll start on the 2 roundabouts that tie into the existing road, and that'll be going for the next 6 to 12 months. Coming up here in the gully, we've got one of the underpasses, big box culvert that's going in. So at the moment the team have got in a stream diversion and installing a culvert. You can just see the pipes up on the bank ready to be installed at the moment. This is one of the major earthworks sections of the job coming up. There's quite a bit going on here, a lot of cutting and filling. Coming up we've got Ōtaki Stream Bridge, so we're installing the MSE walls here at the moment. We've done 3.5 metres of shallow ground improvement below these MSE walls, looking to install the MSE walls within the next 2 months, and then there's a 6-month preload to go on before we can put the beams in. And then coming up here we've got Manukau Stream Bridge, which is on South Manukau Road, the piling rig there. We got some equipment over from Germany that's allowed us to do the soil mixing. At the moment they're on the northern abutment, piling down to about 13 metres depth. We've got 150 piles to go in, and they should be complete on the 20th of July, moving down to the Southern Interchange Bridge, and then we'll start MSE walls from there. This is where Goodman's are doing some of the earthworks filling in Zone 7. It's quite a busy area at the moment, pulling spoil from the materials supply site and filling the alignment. This section we've not started too much at the moment. There's just a bit of erosion and sediment controls going in on Manukau Heights Drive, where we've got an overpass going in, a local road bridge. This area here, we've had a few major culverts been installed, so you can see some of the stream diversions that we've had going on. At North Manukau Road here, we're building a local road bridge. It's got 4 Super T concrete girders in it, so this is a 400-ton crane that we've got installing the Super Ts. This was done over 1 shift. Took us around 8 hours to install 4 beams, which are a real good result. Took months of planning. Next stage is after this. We'll be pouring the concrete deck and the concrete back wall, and then we'll be installing the bridge barriers around the end of August. This is heading further north, going towards Waikawa Stream Bridge. So this is the biggest bridge on the Southern Alliance. It's a 140 metre span, and you can see just down the bottom we're prepping the crane platform at the moment. This is a steel girder bridge. We've installed the preload on the northern abutment, and that will sit there for 6 months, which you can see just on the bottom of the screen, and then we'll remove that and start piling on the abutments. Preload is essentially putting bulk fill on top of the alignment, and then we let it settle for a period of time. There's certain tolerances that we've got to achieve, and then once we've achieved those, we start to remove the preload, and then we can start permanent works construction. This is a multi-barrel culvert that's on the alignment. It's just been completed. The head walls have been finished, and then we'll look to divert the stream through the culverts. coming up in the distance, this is Cuckoo East Road. So we've just started the diversion ahead of building the bridge. This is another Super T girder bridge where we've got 4 girders to install. And that's it for the Southern Alliance, so I'll hand you over to Daniel Swinton on the Northern Alliance.
Kia ora, my name is Daniel Swinton. I'm the Structures Manager for the Northern Alliance. So coming up to the Ōtaki Bridge, we are currently finishing off the temporary staging. We should be finished in about a month there. And we've started works on the permanent piling work. We've driven 11 of the 22 steel casings to date, with the first concrete pour due in a couple of weeks. We're also working on the Northern Bridge Abutment MSE, as we just saw before. And here we're seeing the 40-tonne hammer driving down the steel casings to about 30 metres below ground where we hit the bedrock. Just to the right you can see the material supply site, which is producing the AP40 for all of our bridge MSE walls. Here we've got fill 10, which is up to top of subgrade level, ready for pavement, which is making some good progress. We've completed a 300 metre section of that. Coming up to the Mahanoa Bridge, we're doing the ground foundation excavation works for the bridge. And here we haven't been doing too much due to the wet winter ground conditions. Just north of McLeavey Road here, we are doing some drainage and subgrade improvement works for the local road realignments. And just coming north of Arapaipai Road here, we are doing a little bit of topsoil stripping and erosion sediment control devices. But as you can see, it's pretty wet through winter, so not a huge amount of work happening through here. The erosion sediment controls are very important for keeping sediment from the site. As you can see, we've opened up a lot of exposed ground. It's muddy and it's dirty. And we want to try and keep the sediment out of the waterways, so we have a lot of devices at the ends and edges of our site to treat that water and take all the sediment out of it before it gets into the waterways. And we're just coming up to the Tararua interchange, which is where we'll have our grade separated bridge and the 2 roundabouts. And you can see our site office on the right there. And that big pad you can see to the right there is going to start taking gravels for our pavement layers. So as you can see right in the centre, we've got a haul road. That is our access through the site for all of our heavy vehicles. And that's what's enabling us to move material within the site without having to use the local roads. Quite wet through here over winter, so not a huge amount of work happening at the moment, but we are maximising any weather when we can. We've got a culvert being worked on here, so we're starting to dig out the foundation for the culverts. And you could see the concrete pipes just in the background ready to go in just before. Coming up to Queen Street East here, we've got our bridge being worked on just north of the road. So we've got our MSE walls being built up, and we've got about 8 layers to go on one side. And then we'll start the concrete bridge works after that. Just north of Queen Street, quite wet at the moment, so not a huge amount of work happening over winter. As you can see, a lot of mud, a lot of water sitting on the ground. So just coming up to Waiho Road North, we have some utilities works happening around there. And between McDonald to Waiho Local Road, we are at the top of subgrade as well, getting ready for pavements. Arapaipai, or State Highway 57, is in our centre of our frame here. And you can see the road alignment starting to take shape as we fly further north. This is one of the major culverts. We've completed the concrete headwalls on both sides. And here's the other major culvert. Head walls should be completed there in about a month's time, allowing the stream diversion works to commence. Just flying through some more earthworks areas here, quite wet, but we are managing to get material moved through this area still. So just coming up to the NIMT bridge, both of the MSE abutments are up to height, and we are currently preparing the concrete works, the cast in situ bank seats they're called, and they will eventually take the concrete girders that go across the railway line. And these concrete girders are due in about a month. And finally, up at this end of the project, this is the northernmost point, this will be the site for the roundabout that ties in to State Highway 1. Thanks for listening and joining us for the fly through, and we'll see you for the next one.